This video was made possible by Skillshare, home to over 16,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill. The first 500 people to sign up using the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. The United States is often criticized for its disproportionately large prison population, ridiculous incarceration rate, and use of for-profit prisons, and rightly so. While the total U.S. population is around 326 million, it hosts a prison population of 2,145,000. Compare that to the nation with the second highest incarceration rate, China. China has a population of almost 1.4 billion people, nearly 20% of all people on Earth, and they only host approximately 1.6 million prisoners. China and the US have over 2 and 3 times respectively the number of inmates as Brazil, which holds the third spot on the list at 659,000. Brazil is followed by Russia, with an estimated 622,000 prisoners, and India with 420,000. These top 5 nations alone make up over half of the entire prison population of the whole world, which currently sits around 10.5 million people. Besides absurd population numbers, prisons in the United States are known to spend ridiculous amounts of money keeping people incarcerated. According to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons, in 2015, the average cost to hold one prisoner for 1 year was about $32,000, or around $88 per day, though some private or high-security prisons spend close to or even over $100,000 per prisoner per year. As a whole, the United States spends over $80 billion a year to maintain their massive prison system, a system which many suspect is in desperate need of reform to battle prison overpopulation, racial bias, and runaway spending. One avenue of reform that no country should or could possibly consider is the idea of creating one massive worldwide prison that could house every single convict on Earth. Of course, it's a ridiculous premise, but it is a fascinating idea. What would a worldwide mega prison look like, and how could it function? For this thought experiment, we're going to take averages from various US prisons and scale them with the massive worldwide prison population to get a rough estimate of what it could theoretically look like. Let's start by looking at the size of the actual complex. In the United States, the largest correctional facility of any kind is the Los Angeles County Jail in California. While it might not be as high security as a federal prison, LA County holds the record for the largest inmate population of any facility in the country, and likely the entire world. On average, this massive complex holds between 17 and 20,000 inmates. To maintain this number, the complex is spread across 7 facilities and 6,400 kilometers. On a very basic level, if we just look at the amount of land claimed by the LA County Jail and the average number of inmates, that would equate to about 1/3 of a square kilometer of space per inmate. Of course, not all prisons and correctional facilities are so sprawling. The Louisiana State Penitentiary, nicknamed Alcatraz of the South and The Farm, is the largest maximum security prison in the United States. The Farm holds about 6,300 prisoners and 1,800 staff, but unlike the enormous LA County jail system, this prison only takes up about 72 square kilometers of land. When divided up on a per prisoner basis, that would give each inmate about 0.01 square kilometers, or 10,000 square meters. This still probably seems like a huge amount of space, but remember that each prison requires not only space for inmates, but also for staff, recreational areas, kitchens, laundromats, offices, and dozens of other assorted necessities. With that in mind, if we take an average of the 2 prison space allowances, we get a value of about 0.16 square kilometers per inmate. Now for the fun part. If we took the entire world prison population of about 10.5 million and built a complex using 0.16 square kilometers per inmate as the framework, the mega prison would cover a staggering 1,680,000 square kilometers. That would require a land area the size of Alaska plus Minnesota. Then there's the staff requirements. If we compare the average number of staff and the average number of inmates from our 2 example prisons, we get a ratio of about 5.5 to 1 prisoners to staff. Scale that to our mega prison size, and you get a workforce of 1.91 million people. To put that in perspective, the mega prison would have to hire every single person currently living in the state of Nebraska, and then hire 23,000 more people. The inmates would hail from all around the globe, with the largest groups coming from the United States at 20% of the total prison population, China at nearly 16%, and Brazil and Russia at 6% each. Comparing the United States with other developed English-speaking countries, we can see that the US is quite the anomaly, with Canada only contributing 0.4% of the inmate population, England and Wales contributing 0.8%, and Australia 0.4%. The countries with the very least representation in the megaprison would be Liechtenstein and San Marino, bringing just 10 and 2 prisoners respectively. Assuming the megaprison spent the average amount spent in America to house one inmate for 1 year, the annual housing cost for this enormous complex would be an unthinkable $336 trillion. As impossible as such a ridiculously huge prison would be in reality, we can at least dream that an overarching global prison system such as this would focus less on severe punishment and more on rehabilitation and teaching inmates valuable skills they can use back in society. If you'd like to learn a new set of skills, I highly recommend you check out Where Did You Learn to Edit? For me, it was a long process of trial and error and digging around the internet for helpful video tutorials. If I had known about Skillshare earlier, my life would have been much easier. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators, featuring over 16,000 classes in video editing, graphic design, photography, and more. Anyone can take a class, try a project, or even teach a class themselves. Premium membership begins at just $10 a month for unlimited access to everything. As a little thank you for watching my videos, Skillshare is offering a 2-month free trial for the first 500 people who sign up using the link below. You can use those 2 months to learn an awesome new skill that you can use to market yourself, create a business, or even start a YouTube channel like I did. There's no better time than now to take the first step to learning that skill you've always dreamed of having, and since it's completely free to try, you have nothing to lose. Be one of the first 500 to sign up with this link to start your 2-month free trial with Skillshare. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch my previous one by clicking here. Or if you're really bored, you can watch all my videos by clicking here. Remember to subscribe to keep up to date with the latest content, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on today's topic. You can also check out my new combined Instagram with Real Life Lore, where we share photos of our adventures and daily life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.